everybody, Carrie Scroggins, entrepreneur down in Texas, and here is today's video on, are you ready to become an entrepreneur? What are we going to talk about today? This is a big subject. It's a really important subject, and as someone who has lived through the nightmare from it, I want to talk to you about how important it is to have a really secure software system and email system to protect your personal information and all your clients' personal information. And making sure that along with that, when you buy your insurance, you specifically have cyber coverage protection for this reason. It protects you and it protects your clients and all of the personal information that is collected during the course of business. I have actually lived through this twice. Okay, I opened my insurance agency in 2013. Then I opened my design business in 21, interior design business in 21, and then I opened my supplement distributorship in 22. So I have 3 businesses, all of which require the same amount of dedication and attention to the software systems and the insurance and all that that needs to be in place. Okay, the insurance agency in particular requires a little bit more because I have so many clients, and because of the information that is collected there, it is more sensitive information because I have to collect everything in the day-to-day course of my insurance agency for life insurance, health insurance, companies, I mean, you name it, and I have to collect everything. So it's really important to have in your insurance products cyber insurance, because that protects you in the event that somebody hacks into your system, steals all your clients' information, and then charges up all this thousands of dollars, and or sells it and their identity is then compromised. Okay, it's so important. This is a massive problem in the United States. Fraud is running rampant because we do so much online now, so much is done remotely, and you have to have a ironclad defense system in place to protect your business and protect your clients. I recently have, well, in the last year, I think I've had 3 or 4 big companies that I deal with, health insurance, a bank, one of my carriers, and one other one, all have had breaches of their security systems. And so when that happens, they are required to send you a letter and say, this is what's happened. Potentially there's a compromise, and so to be on the lookout for it. One thing that I would really stress to you, individually and from a company basis, is to lock down your credit. Lock it down. Never leave it open. Never leave it running, because that truly is the best way for you to control who sees your credit information and who has access to it, because you have to give permission every time that you apply for a loan or whatever, and they're actually pulling your file, pulling your credit. In order to do that, you will actually have to go in and unlock that credit. So you are controlling who gets to see and pull your full credit profile. That's really important. I would encourage every single consumer to use whatever monitoring system you want, but use a monitoring system that allows you to lock your credit down, to log in, lock it down. If you're applying for something, you can log back in, let the vendor do what they need to do, and then within minutes normally go back in and relock your credit. It's so important. I can't tell you how important it is to protect not only your personal assets, your company's personal assets, but then all your clients' assets too. When you're collecting in that information from them, you are liable to make sure that that information stays safe. That's why it's so important as a new business owner that you have the right insurance in place and that you talk to somebody that is experienced. This is crucial. I mean, this in one fell swoop, this could kill your business. almost instantaneously. I can't stress how important it is to have a good insurance policy with an A+ rated carrier, and the rating on an insurance company determines their solvency. It determines how much liquid assets they have, and then what their customer service ratings are. You never want to work with an insurance company that doesn't have an A or higher rating. Anything below that, and then you are putting yourself at risk, because that insurance company has had something happen in their background that has dropped that rating below that level, and you just don't want to deal with carriers that don't have that kind of rating. Anything below A is, I would tell you to walk away and don't even consider them, because you would be putting yourself and your customers at risk. So the first time this happened was back right around, no, it was before that. It was probably 19 or so, end of 18, 19. And I had a hacker. They got in and they hacked my account. Luckily for me, I caught it really quickly, and I changed everything. And I caught it, and I had there was no taking of the information. Nobody has reported everything, so I caught it and I locked it down really quickly, and I changed platforms, and that happened all within a day. Then COVID came along. We had all these people just diligently working at home, and they do. These people, these people that steal identities and steal your information, they're on the computer 24 hours a day. They're like zombies. They get in there, and once they find it, they just go and 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 go until they finally hack and get it. And then they download it. And then what they do, in my case what they do, is they send out a fraudulent email to my clients and say, "Hi, this is Carrie from KDS Insurance Services. Please send me the following information." And then my clients, luckily, I got really savvy clients. The first email that went out, I got a phone call within about 15 minutes from that client, and I'm like, "I didn't send you an email." Oh my God, so here we go again. So that took me from about that time, was about a 15-minute lag. By the time I got the phone call, contacted my vendor, contacted my software company, and got my system completely locked down, was about 30 minutes. In that time, those crooks, criminals, sent out over 200 emails, 200 clients. Luckily, by the grace of God, not one of my clients released any of their information. So I, thank goodness, had no breach in my customers' security. All right, I have a breach in my email, but I've locked that down, and I have since then moved to a Microsoft server. I am actually on a Microsoft server, so now all my emails end with onmicrosoft.com. Because I'm never going to go through this again, because it was an absolute nightmare. Because what happens when this happens is you have to lock that system down. You've got to lock that email address down that was fraudulent, and so you can no longer use those emails. It locks it down, because if you reopen it, it's a virus, and it's just going to explode again, and it's going to do all these crazy things again. So luckily for me, I've been very blessed, and I had a very good support system, and we got on top of it really quickly, and nobody has had any of their information stolen, thank goodness. This happened in 21, and so, no, I'm sorry, in the later part of 20. So almost a year, was a little bit longer than maybe 18 months between the first time and the second time. And thank goodness I now have security measures in place that are much stricter. I have 3 firewalls. I have so much on my system now to protect me and my companies and my clients that I'm very hopeful that that never happens again. But it's a scary deal. It really is a scary deal, and you can lose your business so quickly, because there are criminals out there every day trying to hack into every system to steal information, to steal identities, and it happens so quickly I have a family member who got an email that came in disguised as their bank. And you'd think, wow. But luckily enough, my sister-in-law is such a smart cookie that she noticed some language difference in the letter, and so it triggered her to make a phone call. And luckily enough for them, they got it taken up, they got it controlled. But in that time frame, in less than an hour, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars were at risk because there are hackers. This is all they do. Criminals, this is all they do. They get up at God knows, well, they never go to sleep, it seems like. I just watched a documentary about this, and it's insane what these people do and how they track your information and how much information is already out there that's public knowledge that is really scary. Really scary. We are in the information age, so all I can tell you is never send your social security number by your phone, never send it by email, never send it by fax or your federal ID number, your tax ID number. Never send any of those numbers or your credit cards via those systems, because you just never know. You just never know. I want you to understand the importance of having a good insurance policy that protects you from cyber theft. Protects all your documents, protects your servers, and protects you as a business, because the last thing you want to do is to take your customer that you've worked so hard for, and then their information is stolen, and then it comes back to you because it came out of your business. It can cost you your business. I mean, it is an industry that can be catastrophic to an individual and it also to a business. So I really want to emphasize, make sure that you do your due diligence on your software systems, your computers. Make sure you have very specific guidelines in place for your employees, how they collect this information, what they do with this information, and then storage of this information. When I get somebody that is a customer and they give me their credit card information and I process their order and I print a receipt and I put it into their file. I never keep credit card information in my businesses. So I'm constantly having to ask for that information again, but that's a security measure because I don't want my facility to be broken into, and I don't want any emails. I always tell my clients, do not send me this by email. Unfortunately, some do, and so those are immediately deleted. I do not keep any of that information, whether it be in an electronic format or in a hard copy format, because I just don't want the liability. I don't want there to be a situation where my office or my systems are broken into, and then my clients and I suffer the consequences. It's just not worth it. I promise you, it is not worth it. So, good insurance policy. Work with somebody that knows to get you cyber insurance and everything associated with that part of your policy. Make sure you have very good processes in place so your employees know what to expect. And then make sure you're talking to your customers about how you process this information, and let them know if you decide not to keep the information in-house, which I would 100% encourage you not to do. It's more work for you because you've got to constantly regather that information, but it is not worth the risk of putting it in a file and then your office being broken into and all that information stolen, because then you potentially have a huge problem. Don't keep it. That's just my advice. And get really good software systems and make sure that your employees know what the processes are, what's acceptable and what is not acceptable, and then have a very clear conversation with your clients. It's so important. As an entrepreneur, you have a responsibility to protect your client information as well as your own personal and business information. That's part of the responsibility of becoming an entrepreneur. It's still the best decision I would have ever made. I love what I do. I love my clients. I love helping people. Just know that there are responsibilities that come along with it. And if you are not prepared to accept those responsibilities, maybe being an entrepreneur is just really not for you. And that's okay too. Just be able to answer the question honestly with no reservations. So that's the video today. Heavy conversation, I know, but an important one. I hope it helps you along the way to make this decision. Of course, I would love to hear from you. So if you want more specifics, please let's connect. Let's talk about it, and I'm happy to share. Because remember, small business owners are the backbone of this nation. We employ more people than any other segment. It is an honor and a responsibility to be a small business owner, and I would never change my decision. It's one of the best decisions of my life. This is Carrie from Texas. I'm an entrepreneur. I hope this helps you, and I will see you in my next video next week. Have a great weekend. It's Friday. See you later.